There we go. Oh God, now what's happened? Something funny. The settings. See.
What's wrong?
Wait. Live 09. I don't know. Okay, let me just change the settings. We're live. I'm going to just. How do we do this? You there? More. Hold on. This is. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard right now. Settings. I can hear you perfectly.
Yes.
But I don't know how to make us both on stage together. Settings, just hold on. Camera, audio, virtual background, no hotkeys, layouts. Ah, God, I hate StreamYard. Exit full screen. Solo layout. No. We want exit solo layout.
StreamYard watching Devil eat.
That's fine. Fine. It's just, so now we've got you there. You see, this is weird. Let's go back there. Undo. Add item. Live.
Tell me, how do I share this thing?
I'll show you now. This camera slot, a single camera slot, media slot from the present menu, such as slides. No, we don't want that. Delete. They've changed this whole. This is dynamic camera grid recommended. Automatically adjusts the number of people on stage. Yes. Got it. Okay. There we go. Right. Now we're both there, I think.
Okay.
Let's have a look. All right. Are we both there? Hold on. That's fine. It's fine. If anybody's here. Ruth Ann's there. She's there. Yeah, Ruth Ann, you can just tell us what we look like. You know, us South Africans can be a little bit, hey, Ruth Ann, nice to see you here. Hang on. Devil's there. I'm there, but we're in the middle. Okay, let's just see.
Well, I'm the main attraction at the moment.
You are always the main attraction.
Oh, can I ask you, Stefan, just send me a link to this thing on Facebook. Is it possible?
What you watch this?
No, I want to send it to somebody. I want to send it to some people.
Hang on a minute.
Copy and paste.
If I go into YouTube now, we're going to have an echo.
Oh, okay.
You go into my channel.
No. Yes, just tell me. What's your buck stops here?
Buck stops here. Yeah. Buck stops here. All right. Let me just okay. Now I can just see, because I need to make this bigger that I can actually check the comments. Hold on. Okay, present. This is absolutely bizarre that StreamYard is gone. Okay, so now let me just go back quickly into settings. Just not leave studio. Settings. Camera. There. Back. We there. Close.
I can't find your channel.
Hang on a second. Okay, so I'm just going to mute my microphone for a second. Okay, I sent you the link. I sent you the link on WhatsApp.
Yeah, but the trouble is I can't open it on this phone. That's why I'm asking for it
Okay.
on Facebook.
Okay, I'm going into Facebook. Hold on.
Because I'm on this phone,
That's fine.
my
That's
private.
fine. I'm going into Facebook. That's not going to echo us.
Mhm.
Let me just go there. Facebook.com. What's going on? So take, that's why I must take that off. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? Ugh, I'm battling because, I mean, there's notifications are blocked on here. Started off, Ruthan's just going on. I'm sorry, I've just got a, don't even know what we look like here. Facebook is not working on this, on Chrome, because I blocked certain browsers. I'm just going to quickly.
Oh, okay. No, then don't worry. Don't worry. Just send me what your handle is on YouTube.
The buck stops
actual
here.
handle.
The buck stops here. THEBUXT stops here. I don't even know what we're even looking like.
Oh,
on,
the buck stops here. Okay. Sorry, that's why I'm not finding.
Yeah. I don't even know. Ruthan's going. I'm
illustrating.
She's illustrating.
There we go.
I'm not scared.
There you go. There you go. I found it.
We might be live. Let's just go. Let's just see the private chat's working. Chat with everyone in the studio. Okay, but I can't even see what we look like on screen. This is the bizarre thing. But what I'm quickly just going to do is I'm just going to go to YouTube, and it might echo because it's actually, there's a whole thing that changes studio. Couldn't stand the weather. So you're there now.
Yes.
Let's have an echo. I want to get both of us on stream. It's going to be echoing.
Right.
Live viewers 2. I can't. I'm going to mute my mic. Just this is bizarre. I can't understand. Are we both there now? Unmute your mic. Can't hear myself either.
Yes. I can hear you.
You can hear me. All right, I'm going to turn my volume up.
Ruthan7 just said you guys are together. You're illustrating my terror of StreamYard.
Ruthan's funny. Yeah, Ruthan. Anyway, how are you, Ruthan? Hopefully you're good. Sure. So yeah, couldn't stand the weather. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I'm having a typical South African winter dish, a nice hearty soup.
Ooh.
To warm the insides and to warm the soul.
That's okay. Lekker in South Africa means it's good, it's beautiful. How do you explain the word lekker?
Lekker is, yes, it's a word unique to Afrikaans in South Africa. It means nice, sweet, good.
Yeah, it is a good word. Actually, I don't know what you on low volume, but that's fine. Is my sound coming through okay?
Yes, on my side, yes.
All right, yeah, because I've got the cam actually. So I was going to stream earlier. I'm going to take 5 minutes and then we're going to chat with you. I was going to stream earlier and do some stuff. Couldn't stand the weather. You know, you just gave me all the inspiration because we've had shitty weather here. It's been as crap as hell in Cape Town. We've had close to cyclones and all of that. I've had a wet bed. I didn't wet my own bed.
Context. You must frame it.
I didn't wet the bed. I didn't shit the bed, as the Americans say. What happened was, actually, I just wanted to see if there's any chat. Hi, chat. Sorry, I'm actually.
You meant to say you had a leak in your roof.
Yeah. I had a leak in the roof. And kind of invited a couple of people up here. Anyway, I can't see us, but it doesn't matter. I can see you separately. I just want to see if there's any comments. If anybody's there.
Well, I can see it on YouTube this side on this phone of mine.
Yeah, I'm not looking. I mean, I'm just trying to. I mean, I've got my little, I've got my portable keyboard now. I've got the mouse. That's not your CAD mouse.
Yeah.
I'm driving from a table here. The mic's here. Got the other headphones. We had shitty weather, and I've had to arrange a whole room and make sure that gear and records and everything are okay. But you and I have been talking about gear and what you're doing. Oh, Vincent's here as well. Hey, how's it, Vince? Nice to see you. Yeah, crazy weather indeed. Some people find us.
Yeah, absolutely. But Stefan, let me just say, I think it's one of the biggest nightmares that I ever have is to have such a kind of a weather incident where you suffer water damage from weather. That is, look like, if I may say this on air, what happened to our friend Andre that had water damage. When was it? Last week?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an absolutely dreadful a nightmare to think about. If your records and CDs and tapes have to get wet.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's excuse my language. It's a fuck show of note. They had hurricanes in the States and so-called cyclones. Yeah, and there's a difference between the southern hemisphere and the northern hemisphere. But this morning when I said to you, I need to stream again. I need to just do something. I want to, it's just been shitty. I had some good news today, but I'll chat to you about that privately at some stage. But it's been shitty weather. You've been through, some stuff, but again, I just managed to actually get this room into order, like records. It's not ordered yet, but I'm sitting in front of, tube monoblocks, a turntable and stuff that's visible. And actually, I'm going to change camera now, if I may, just to quickly show you, and then I'm going to leave it to you to talk. Just hang on a second. I'm just going to see if this other camera's working. The USB device. Let's go.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, and I say, so, the garage looking beautiful. On top there's just a little mat that protects the Acromat. We've got the Nagoka. Yesterday, because after the weather, I had to test all the tubes, everything. I was just shit scared, worried. Couldn't stand the weather. Okay, to test all of this, let alone potential record damage and other stuff. Headphones are up there. I'm not even using headphones. I've got the USB mic is here. I've got the other cam in front, and I am, excuse my language, I'm as happy as a pig in shit. And I'm going to just change my cam. Nice kosher boy I am, eh?
Yeah. What the pig reference?
Oh yeah. Yeah, even Vincent's saying crazy weather in Cape Town. I mean, I don't know if anybody. Yeah, I just wanted to. So yeah, it's just been exciting because you and I've been chatting, and you've been doing some stuff. I've been doing some stuff. And one of the things that struck me in the vinyl community this week, a couple of people, there's been a lot of international politics and stuff. I asked the doc if he wanted to come on this one. I don't, this is a quick, short kind of thing. But one of the things you and I chatted about today was basically, and it came through on one of the other vinyl community streams this week, about people like, well, we know that, what's his name? Bob Ludwig has retired, but that people are like, oh God, he's Kevin Gray and the others
Yes,
are right
Kevin
now
Gray.
not
Yeah.
taking on apprentices and all of that, and they're not
Yes.
passing it down. And that's what you and I started, and was up the weather and stuff. And again, it's like your skill and the other people, the very, very few people that can work tape decks and stuff in this country. If that skill and apprenticeship does not get handed down, where are we? What's this all about?
Yes. For me, I've not only had this conversation with you today, but I spoke to a colleague of us, that's been active in the industry for over 50 years. And I said to him that to me, it is a absolute big worry that there's no new blood coming into the industry, and especially on the technical side. It's one thing selling equipment, and it's another thing installing it, but the maintenance of the vintage equipment and the more hands-on high-end equipment, and especially studio equipment, is becoming a big problem.
Yeah.
And there's a gap that's busy widening. But I must say I'm working on. I've got one youngster that finished school last year that's in the next town close to me, that I am working on to kind of take him under my wing and get him to fulfill the role of apprenticeship, and not just on the technical side, but to just learn him the tricks of the trade and the hands-on approach. That's a wish that I've had for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of interesting is, if people are holding back, and everybody's kind of chasing it. And you and I had also had a discussion about digital media, and in fact, how, everybody agrees how in some ways it saved analog media and all of that. But if people are holding back on handing over, because I think about my daughter to the next generation, it's not going to be where it's at, and then it's just going to be, there's going to be a disconnect.
Yes. I could tell you, I've seen the disconnects where the generation after, let's say that the generation that came after the Second World War, that started, like the Quad and the Leek and the Macintosh Oaks, they had a certain way of doing things, and then there were the youngsters in the late 80s and the 90s that started building, let's say, for instance, tube equipment, and where they did things differently. But when you look back at the post-war generation, and you look carefully and read between the lines, then you understand why they did certain things the way they did. And it was there's this gap because it was not passed on. And again, these days, look at what Devin Turnbull is doing with OJAS Audio, where he, like, all of a sudden, there's this revival of really very vintage style audio equipment that is now being praised for being amazing, because it is amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I gather, they're going to be open. We can speak names. I mean, I gather young Philip Kramer contacted you today, or whatever. He's designing.
I contacted him in the week, and because I saw his Instagram page, and I thought, wow, what he's doing is very cool, and it must be celebrated.
Absolutely. I mean, he's got an architectural background, but he doesn't have the that sound background, and that's why we need to be supporting people like Kramer and other people, but they also need to be working together with the Masters. We've got a friend of ours that had been ill recently, Cape Tech person, another person who uses that person who's been ill recently, as we know, Johan. We need to keep it all together. We cannot lose by sitting there with egotistical minds and heads and spaces that we know it all.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there's very few people that know what happened towards the end at Pop Studios. You know who was in there. You were around.
Yeah.
You walked around. You know, there's turntables and stuff that have been in this country that are in and out. There's amazing stuff, you know, and it's just like I always just look at. I just remember when I met you at that hi-fi show with the late Guillaume with Croak.
Yes.
That same day, okay, and that's what's it's before 2010, right?
It was 2008.
Yeah, I mean, I'd already was getting my first Moth record cleaning machine from him. I've honed it in since then. Those Cardis things that he built, that Moth, that the Cardis cabling through the Funk arm. Yeah, and Funk doesn't make an arm like that anymore because it's too expensive.
Yeah. I can just say this, that, you know, talking about passing down ideas and concepts from generation to generation, Guillaume was the one that said to me that there's only one way to rewire a tone arm, and that's the correct way. And it's the way that they've done it in the past and the decade before that. There's no other funny ways to wire a tone arm, only one way. And I can tell you, when I was younger, when I started out, I wanted to try different ways, but then I quickly realized he was right. There's only one way.
Well, you know, and I'm sorry, I just wanted to just do a little bit of a heads up to the South African audio community, besides the people like, you know, Tim DePava and Chini, and, you know, the Manleys and the even the engineers, you know, whether it's the Kevin Shirleys or the musicians like Fig, you know, was on Letterman, and people like what's his name, worked with AC/DC, Matt Langer.
What?
You know,
Matt Langer and Eddie Kramer.
just the people that have been to this country. It's like nobody must diss this country, but the one thing is that we've got a community. We certainly have people here that are into high-end audio. With Brexit, there's more and more people coming here. There's people investing. There's people that want to be, that are totally off the AV forums or this whatever, you know, or Facebook. They've got their private ways. There's whatever, you know, the Americans have got their way of doing things, but we have got such an amazing history of what's happened in this country and how it connected with the rest of the world. That to me is beyond, you know, it's just like what keeps driving me, you know, whether it's musicians or whatever, you know. You know, my mate Brad was here yesterday, you know, he started Bassline. I hadn't seen him in a while, not yesterday, day before, you know, and we chatted, you know, and, you know, he'd been in and out of Cape Town, and then he's promoting some other new young musician who's been working with, you know, from people like Nduduza Makatini, etc. But, you know, she's not jazz, you know, she's more mainstream. And I kind of listened to it and I was like, wow, okay, so there is stuff happening in Joburg. It's amazing. You know, that thing, you know, because I mean, I met his dad, and I remember before I went to Nepal, he signed a record for me. Not a record, a CD. It's a sad thing. Not that it's totally my music, but you look at somebody like Jack Patlansky.
I'm bound to go to another Dan Patlansky concert in August, live concert. He's good.
Oh,
he knows how to play guitar.
Yeah. It's just sad that he, you can go like side by side and say, take the more modern guitarists, you know, beyond the ones that work for Zappa. That's another whole thing. You can take somebody like Bonamassa, who Blondie Chaplin's worked with. It was a Kevin Shirley production there. And you can take somebody like Jake, right? And my opinion, it's not my total music, but they'll stand head to head as brilliant blues guitarists. Derivative of
Absolutely. But yeah, Dan has made his own. He's firmly standing on his own 2 feet, which is commendable.
Yeah. So so tell people a little bit. You got some things you're working on, what you're doing. Yeah, I know you're working on a project that you can't tell people about.
Yes, working on a secret project. More on that later.
It's a big project.
It is a big project. Now I'm just thinking, to say something about the weather related and the work that I'm doing is that at the moment, it's cold, and the way I heat up my workspace is with an air conditioner. And I found that with the hot air blowing over me and over the loudspeakers, when I sit down and listen to music, it changes the tonality of the sound. It does this weird, like you can hear the hot air rushing over the speakers, and it just confuses the crap out of me. So I have to turn the aircon off when I sit down and listen to music, and I have to sit in the cold.
It's weird. I mean, when you do that decibel test, it's like I know my dehumidifier, for example, in Cape Town, that's an absolute necessity.
Yes.
Yes. And talking about the weather, as much as I had water and stuff coming in the bedroom, and it's coming through the guy above's his ceiling and stuff, and I had to deal with the landlord and stuff. But anyway, end of the day is I noticed that I had less water on my windows, even with that I had the biggest leaks inside the bedroom that are sorted now. Well, will be sorted after or whatever. Today I put out some plastic, but I'm watching the millimeters and that. But end of the day is I had less humidity in the windows than anybody else. And the bottom line is every time I look at the weather app and I go, okay, it's not going to rain now. I'm opening up the windows. I'm letting air out. I'm checking the humidity.
Yes.
Because when you've got records and gear and stuff, that's it. Yesterday was the day where I literally cracked my pants because I had to actually switch on all the tube gear. What is it working? Because tubes, capacitors can go mad.
High voltages and humidity, they're not friends.
Yeah, but it's one thing I wanted to ask you is like, so when you're doing all these tests and stuff, is how do you because you talk about the noise of the air conditioner or whatever. How do you actually mitigate it to like no noise?
Well, that is in a domestic setting like where I live and where I stay and where I work. It's impossible to imagine a ultra quiet space. A total anechoic space. Just don't have that luxury, and there's very few rooms in any way. Especially in South Africa, that is totally anechoic. So in a workspace like this, you just switch off all the equipment that's unnecessary and just get it as quiet as possible. But this, where I work, it's a real world scenario, which is the best scenario to work in any way. Because to work in super unrealistic spaces is it's a fantasy scenario.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because I've I've actually, he's given me some positive comments on the show, but I don't know if you've ever seen him. And this guy sort of works at the highest end, whatever, but he does know some stuff, Mikey OCD Hi-Fi guy. And, it's like, talking about Krells and stuff, but, I did mention to him, like, listen, so obviously I'm like mid, but I've not done needle drops. I've told people I've done transcriptions because I don't do needle drops. A transcription is different. And, Mr. Robert Trans has one of my so-called transcriptions or whatever has gone out there, as well as the one for AfroSynth, which, and I just do a basic test, but that sound environment, and then that mastering engineer's got to take it. But I mean, I think that the perfection is something that I don't like. I prefer to get away from the sweet spot, because anybody who lives in a sweet spot is not living a musical life.
Yeah, well, it depends. It's each to their own. I'm an off-axis listener. I rarely sit on axis in the sweet spot and listen there. I think it might be a big part of maybe my ADHD that keeps me busy with other stuff whilst I'm listening to music.
Listen, are you ADHD too?
A little bit.
You and me.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the golden rule would be to approach anything in audio with both a technical perspective and an equal part of artistic perspective. You can't walk into an audio production environment with a pure technical perspective. I think that's what you're trying to say, because I see that with the young guys that those audio engineering courses, that they want to be very technical about everything, and then they lose the mojo of the recording session or the mixing session.
Yeah, it's that's what I'm saying. It's it's stuck. I also just know that there'll be I'll know a bad venue. So, like, for example, there's a venue here in Cape Town called Chimurenga, where I've seen some of the most amazing music. But I mean, it's in Woodstock. It's a tin roof, right? And literally, I mean, so I saw the Blackjacks there. God, they have who else played there? Some Tumi Mokhorosi, some really, really shit hot musicians. Hey, 4D, lovely to see you. I wanted you to come on later. At least we know that somebody else is there, because I wasn't seeing the comments. But getting back to that is, I know that tin roof and the resonances just hurt my ears, that I go outside to listen to the music. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Also, tubes and single-ended, and that's my philosophy, low volumes. Yeah, low volumes. You don't need it. You're getting so much detail. Yes, it's warm. Might not be, you might do a spectrum test and it might be way off. But you know what? Singing to my heart.
Absolutely. If it's enjoyable, I've said this before, and the amount of amplifiers I've tested on this analyzer, it's interesting that the ones that test very, very perfectly and picture perfect are not necessarily the amplifiers that sounds good when you sit down and listen to them. It's the amplifiers with the bit of curves and interesting things happening in the distortion department. That's the exciting amplifiers to listen to.
Yeah, kind of, just think about amplification and stuff. Also been having a couple, just cleaning pots and stuff, but just thinking about like the amplification that you've been through and what you've kind of built for other people in that, and it's just I just remember that when we connected, and the couple of times you were in Cape Town or whatever, and when I was in Joburg, and when you were at 77, there was always kind of an sort of, I think your whole philosophy around music was like was around a musicality, For me, it's a warmth. For other people, it's a total analytic approach.
Experience. Oh yes. Yeah. I've got a very, very short and simple approach. I could tell you within the first 15 seconds, first minute of listening to a system or a setup, if I like it or not. And I've been criticized heavily. There's so many guys that says, yes, but you have to give it a chance to burn in and to run in. And this, I say, absolute bullshit. If within the first minute or so I'm not convinced, then nothing will convince me. And it's true.
I'm going to ask you, because it's not about me, it's about you tonight. That's what I wanted to talk about. So when you listen to a system, like, what are you listening for? You.
I the system must disappear. I don't want to hear the speakers. I don't want to hear the amplifier. I don't want to hear the turntable. I want to hear the music. I want to hear the emotion in the music. And the moment I hear a tweeter shouting at me or an amplifier that's got some funny frequency response that's maybe voiced to be overly clear, because there's some brands that does that where they artificially accentuate the treble. I don't want to hear that, because that immediately draws my attention away from the music and I hear the equipment.
Yeah. There's two other things I just quickly wanted to mention to you, because they relate to you, is that I do remember that various people, including yourself, walked into my room and at times, and it said like my triangle speakers with whatever amp I've thrown at them are just magic.
Yes.
Now suddenly they're here. The cheaper ones, they're much more expensive. You know, so mine don't have what, but you know, they're the basic Untel, whatever, and I can take them from a 5-watt amp to a 100-watt amp, and they're gonna sing. You know those speakers. And
yes, I don't know if you remember, but I also had a set of triangles for a while, and I found them to be thoroughly enjoyable speakers. Very neutral, very easy to drive, small footprint, lovely little speakers. Yeah.
So those are that's part of the love of my life, besides the one tone arm and that Denon that was retipped that you convinced me to put on and get rid of the SME. And then there's another thing, you know, and it's quite a crazy thing, because I've been pushing you for a while, but I don't have the most expensive right now. But I mean, I've got a rotary mixer. Now I don't see it necessarily as a mixer, although it is kind of cool, you know, because I do want to do certain DJ-ish kind of things, because I think it all started there, and I think that the convergence between the DJ world, if you look at the Technics brand and the audio world, needs to be understood. That's something that people still don't understand. But
I can tell you, if I could tell you quickly to change your perspective. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Strip away the DJ terminology. Strip that away and take that unit. That what's that unit again? The Omni.
Mine. I've got the Omnitronic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Omnitronic. Okay, take that unit.
You guys are doing the valve ones now.
But just see it quickly as two phono preamplifiers that plays into tone control blocks, that plays into a line level amplifier system, that plays out to your power amplifiers. Strip away the DJ terminology and see it as a piece of audio equipment, and then your perspective changes. It's like the Technics SL1200 Mark II. Strip away this idea that it's a DJ turntable and just see it as a turntable that spins a record, that carries a cartridge, that's got a good tone arm, and it's a turntable. But the moment you put a label on it, then these stigmas arises.
Sorry, the moment you put what?
The moment you put labels on, like a DJ mixer, strip away the DJ bit. It's an audio mixer. It changes the perspective. It's like you know, having a look at the big SSL mixers, the solid state logic mixing consoles in the recording studios. I'm not fond of labels and using unnecessary descriptive words. To me, an SSL is a large format mixing console. That is it. We're not going to say it's a professional this or high end that or whatever. It's built to a high standard, but it is a mixer at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yep.
And I'll speak about this because I think it's it's a British-based company that was doing also tube versions. They've just closed down. We've spoken about that, and I told you what I wanted you to do. Now I've got my brother also to sort of, you know, invest in. He got an Eclair, which we can't get here. But the most amazing thing for me about the rotary mixer, and let's call it the rotary mixer.
Yes,
and
rotary mixer.
The audio mixer, not the DJ mixer. Okay, because I've got
Yes.
2 phono stages in there, plus balanced out what. I mean, compare that to what you're going to get from Riga at a price.
Absolutely.
I mean, for God's sake,
Absolutely.
But I'm not gonna badmouth Roy Gandy because he's done some great stuff. I love a Riga.
No, he's done some great stuff, but what I say is rather, the stuff that you want to say it's a DJ mix or a pro this or a pro that. Strip those descriptive words away, like those active little. You've got the PreSonus monitors, right?
Yep.
Strip away active studio, all those descriptive words. Strip it away. It's a pair of loudspeakers with amplifiers on board, and they sound great.
Yep.
That's it.
And they may or may not have
Sweet
a
and
DAC built
simple.
in or a Bluetooth unit built in or whatever.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So getting back to that, I think it's get the company, but they've just stopped making their valve mixers out of the UK. Who knows what's coming next? Breakfast Kings. Yeah, sorry. Hey, just want to just say, is most importantly, and actually, let me get back to me talking. Hold on. I'm just going to change my camera again. Sorry, just give me a second. Settings. I want to just back camera. Okay, this is what I hate about.
There we go.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, it's just like following these comments. Hey, Loyola. So these mixes, there's something that I love about it, and that's that EQ and the total crossover cut in the room. That for me is just absolutely phenomenal. I can sit there and I've been playing some heavy stuff with the Roon, with parametrics and headphones and all of that. And I've got various headphones, from planars through to studio headphones and others, not what I had before, but actually more comfortable. And various audio codecs. I mean, I've even trained my through something that I purchased, even trained my PC to now do Bluetooth beyond what it's normally capable of because I bought a plugin. Right? I've done the testing. It's all there. At the end of the day, you can do anything. You can play with digital. Yeah, and I like digital. I love streaming sometimes. I love playing with Roon. But somebody has got to just say to people, I think that the rotary audio mixer is probably, if built correctly, whether you want a Nelson Pass type design or whether you want an audio note type front end design, I think it is probably the finest preamplifier that any single human being could own.
Yeah, but again, even if you strip away the rotary bit and just say you've got a good preamplifier, then at the moment I'm playing with a 1980s Hitachi, the HCA or HC. I can't remember. Anyway, 7500 Mark II, built in Japan by Hitachi. It's such a lovely sounding unit because it was built well and it was voiced well. So, yeah. Strip away the labels.
Yeah, just remember, I mean, I wanted to get it from you, and then you were like, oh, it's not right. Remember that Optonica turntable you had?
I still have it. It's in the front system.
For me, that Japanese tech of that era was something else. But yeah, it's just I've just learned a lot. I think I've come on an amazing journey in terms of where I was years before and where I am now. I mean, I'm now refurbing and fixing all my old iPods because I know they can actually play. And I've got iPod 1, Firewire. at CD quality. Put
Yes.
them into the mixer with a little, you know, and I've got a little dock, you know, that bypasses the internal DAC, and that, you know, that's whatever. Sounds fantastic.
Yes.
You know what I mean? At CD
Yes.
quality. You know,
Yes.
there's just so much. My vintage Sony Walkman, optical out, you know, from Japan only. Wow, lovely. Like,
Yes.
we've just got to enjoy all of this stuff, because at the end of the day, otherwise we're all just going to be streaming, and it's going to get back to what I said earlier. At the end of the day, if Kevin Gray and those people don't start working with the next gen, I'm going to be quite sad, because that's what I
must just add on that remember, at places like Abbey Road, that's got a wonderful resurgence with vinyl mastering. They, you know, there's the Abbey Road Institute where they train people, young people, or, well, you can be any age. You can enter at any age at the Abbey Road Institute and receive a wonderful tuition and get taught wonderful ways on analog equipment, and especially if you can do it in London. But there's a branch here in South Africa, so it's not all lost. But the big guys like Robert Ludwig, he knew his stuff, and
he's retired.
Remember, he's got his empire as well. It was not just him solo.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you, you know, but it's just like, you know, because everybody's like, also you hear this gaga over Van Gelder. No, you know, I've got some classical stuff and other stuff from Plastilite, whatever pressings people haven't seen. But I'm just like, I think people can do it, but we need to take it on to the next gen.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. The trouble with this world is, and it's been like this for ages, is that the young people that goes through the sausage machines, you know, the being book taught and not being taught to think for themselves. That's where the danger comes in, and that's when you lose creative skills and interesting skills.
Yeah, you know, I don't know, you know, I'm just going to say to you that because I mean, I know you're going to have to go soon. I might carry on for a bit, and I wanted 4D Man to come and talk a little bit about books and stuff. I've just said link for after, but you know, we'd had something about the yeah, just about, he's also, you know, knows his Beatles and stuff, and you know, yeah, we must talk to him about Lynn turntables. I mean, what you've done for Lynn or whatever, but you have given me just an understanding. My mate Murray's here. Murray, if you want to come up, there's a StreamYard link. You've given me this beautiful understanding of like audio when we met, what we've been through, what I've been through, the pandemic, the hype, the yeah, FOMO stuff, fear of losing out, you know, and all of that. And I'm just like, actually, hey, it can be what it is. You know, everybody hears things differently. I mean, I've done ear tests. I'll get young people in here always, even when I've done a transcription, and I'll do my ears, and then I'll say like your ears, and then I'll be like, and that's why I like that mixer. I'll be like, go up there and EQ for yourself. You know, not with a computer. Just like, don't turn some knobs. You know.
Yes.
You know, so you've got, you know, 2 cut or 3 cut on each channel, and then you've got total room crossover. And I'll just hear a certain tweak, and I'll listen, and I'll snap that, and I'll say, okay, so I've got to get something between that and that. You know, it's simple, because you know the frequency of what I still think I've got bloody good hearing. You know, because when I worked out recently with my little in-ear things that I needed 2 different ear tip sizes. Okay. To get the test right.
Yes.
I don't realize that.
Yes.
Computers can do amazing things.
Hey, no, listen, no human is perfectly symmetrical down the middle, eh?
Yeah, so last thing, so just been watching this bloody they're just getting into this, the hype about the Trump stuff, and the one thing I do want to say, no, hang on a minute. I just want to say something.
Yeah.
Whether you like him or not, and I've never been a fan, and my family lives in Texas, but no country needs to be compromised by their security, okay, where an assassination of any person can happen. And for me, that was like a wake-up call, eh? It was like, hang on, I don't like that, but
Yes, but just remember, it's not the first time that a thing like that has happened. There's a joking video or video clip. I think it was a video of Ronald Reagan, where it was probably a balloon that burst in the crowd somewhere, and he just looked up and he said missed, and he went on with his speech. So just remember especially the American political field is riddled with assassination and assassination attempts. So that's all that I have to say. It's nothing new. It is just when you're in a position like that, you catch high winds. The high trees catches the high winds. It's not an easy job.
it's true. It's true. It's definitely true.
I see even a clip that came up on Instagram the other day was that even Queen Elizabeth survived an assassination attempt in 1981 during a parade. She was on horseback, and a guy in the crowd fired at her. Six shots.
Yeah, it's crazy, hey? And
Yep.
just looking at guns right now, and somebody was talking the other night, it's about gun control, and and all of that is like it's mostly the illegal guns, and
Well, of course. It's stuff like that happens illegally. It does not happen legally. No misdemeanor on this planet happens. Well, I think I need to count my words, but most misdemeanors does not happen legally.
how many? There must be a shitload of illegal guns in this country. We know that, but
Yes.
because in some ways there are times where, like, I think we are like Texas, decent Cape Town.
Well, Johannesburg, that's the new Wild West. Yeah.
You surviving there, hey?
Yes, you keep out of the bad places. That's the only rule. You don't go and snoop around the bad spots.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't think anybody's going to come on, but that's fine. So I'm going to kind of end the stream soon. But what's in store for you tomorrow?
Work, development work, and some repair work, and surviving another cold day, and I might have an emergency repair on an Audio Research tube preamp.
Ooh. What's emergency? What does emergency in tubes mean? Sorry, I'm just.
It means like I have to figure out in a very short span of time what's wrong. That's
Right.
an emergency. Like with the client standing here by me, looking over my shoulder.
Yeah, it's quite funny. I'm just gonna sort of have a little thing, and then we can kind of have a little nice chat and then end this. But end of the day is there's a audio person in South Africa. He's based in KZN. Great guy. And he couldn't believe that I got rid of that audio note, the black one, the original power amp that I had. And I was like, that board was beyond, the transformers, how many people had been through. Its life was not repairable unless you would actually go and completely replace the board. And I just had to cut my costs, and I've got the monoblocks. I'm happy. You know what I mean? You let go sometimes.
Yes. Of course.
And, some people are like, and that same person recently contacted me this week to say, like, 3 CD players had gone down, lasers, this, that, and it is what it is. So sometimes you just got to realize all of this stuff is actually disposable in some way. A capacitor,
Yes.
tube, a stylus, a tone arm, a gimbal, a grommet. Doesn't matter. All
A
disposable.
loudspeaker driver. Look, most of the stuff that I'm playing with, I never think the manufacturers ever envisioned for the stuff to last this long and for me to keep it alive this long. Like my old Tannoys, they game 55 odd years. I don't
years
think
younger
they
than
ever
me.
built these speakers to think, wow, that's 55 years later, they're still going to be playing music and they're still going to be enjoyed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, and I'm just kind of thinking, it's like for me, the most important thing, it's more the iconic, there's certain iconic stuff, you know. So obviously, guys are going to go back to the Tannoys, you know, at a certain level. You're going to go back to EMT turntables, certain tone arms, you know, that
Yes.
are worth repairing. You know, the
Yeah,
value.
absolutely. Yeah.
But you know, a mid audio note amp that has gone through X, Y, and Z and the transformer chains and stuff, and the board is gone. I cut my losses. I could have hung on, but hey, you know, it was time to say hello and goodbye. Love the other one, but yeah, we move on. You know, it's just it's an interesting one. And then the last thing, there's two other things I just wanted to question you on. Is first of all, I mentioned to you that somebody was looking for, we both know, was looking to get Blu-ray set up here, and I said, look, you know, look for Oppo, whatever, you know, price has gone up. If you see the price of getting a decent Blu-ray player in this country right now with a USB in that does like everything out and whatever, it's prohibitive. Like they're virtually not bringing it in anymore.
Yeah, but the thing is Blu-ray was this bubble of technology, almost like just like DVD was this.
I know it's
the short bubble.
Come back, Criterion, all of that. That's what I'm saying. Just watch physical media, and then the last thing. So yeah, just what you know. But I was amazed. You can't even get a Samsung BDP in this country anymore. Go take a look anywhere new. Nothing.
No. Because everything is now streamed via smart devices.
In the States and in other countries, they're coming back. New brands, everything. This is what I'm saying, is like we were ahead of the curve. We can't be behind the curve. And then the last thing that I also wanted to mention to you, and then I'm going to let you just chat. Sorry, just, you know, the ADHD. Our mate Richard mentioned to me that Kutsu is no more, that they've closed shop.
Yes, but that happened a while ago. The family closed the shop after the old guy passed away, and they said they're not going to allow the brand or the technology or any of that to fall in the hands of anybody else, because it was an artisanal setup. It's like having Picasso's painted by a completely different person and not Picasso himself. So I applaud their decision for terminating the brand.
It
was for a short while. It was beautiful, and it's no more. So that's the way it's supposed to be. It's like it's this vulgar thing that the last 40 years of brand names being revived and recycled. Like Wharfedale is not the same company that it was way back in the 50s and 60s and 70s. So, like I've got a pair of modern Wharfedale speakers, but it's nowhere near related to the original company. So I applaud Kutsu for killing the brand.
Yeah, it's a hard one to swallow, because I mean, I'll tell you one thing, and then you know, I know what you set up, but myself, having listened to various Kutsu cartridges on a Garrard that was built to a spec, you know, that you did, and listening to it on that those Fidelity Research, the FR64 arms. And you know what Kutsus I'm talking about? There were a couple.
Yes. Yes.
I, in some ways, have not heard, and I'm not a Michael Fremer. You know, he's heard whatever. But just in terms of vintage stuff, I've not heard much better at that level, because it just did scream like musically, might not be technically or whatever, but musically, it just went like, wow, this is.
It was lovely cartridges. Yes, very, very thoroughly enjoyable cartridges. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think to end this is, I think your words are right. Is you're either going to hand the tech over to a person in, getting back to the mastering in a way where it's done at that same level. But I also applaud Kutsu's decision, because it would have got bastardized and gone into some huge conglomeration that would have been bought
Yes,
abroad,
and then
owning a million brands, and it's not the same thing anymore.
And then like five years from now, you'll get a Kutsu moving magnet cartridge with a cheap replaceable stylus clip. Something silly like that. We don't want that.
Oh, it happened with Nakamichi. Look at those banana plugs.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I just wanted to sort of touch base. It's been shitty weather, but we've come through it. Anything else from your side? I know you want to go and eat, and you've got stuff to do.
Nothing.
Tomorrow.
I just want to finish my dinner that I started an hour ago.
Yeah, and I said 30 minutes, eh?
So It's time flies. Time flies when
I'm
you're.
going to end the stream. I have 2 minutes with you, and then we're gonna. Okay. All right. So to everybody who was here, whatever, I did some invites. This was just a whatever. I'm going to end the stream, but I'm going to keep D there. Thanks everyone who was here. A couple people. I just said, hey, I want to stream tonight, and this is what we did. D, I'm ending the stream, and we're going to go into the back end.
Thank you.